hot day. We are back at the old house and I had to prepare the house for renters. The kicker is we also leave for Europe in a week and it's also my birthday. There's a lot to do. I'm standing in my old bathroom and I'm just reminded of how much I love this color. It's a really beautiful sage. It's called Lichen by Farrow and Ball, but I want you to also see that the mirror on mirror bouncing back and forth is an absolute feng shui taboo. I was able to get around that by placing a portrait, like a picture, over this mirror, which I absolutely adore. But now that I'm taking all the mirrors down, I'm going to outfit this entire area as like a closet because the primary bedroom needs a closet. I had converted the guest room into my closet, so I only use this as my makeup vanity area, but that's all gonna change. I'm leaving this wall sconce in the primary bedroom, but I'm swapping out the shades that I paid a lot for. It was a designer shade, so I want to use that in my new home. You'll also see that there's quite a bit of patching to do, so that's what I'm going to do today as well. I have like a lot of holes in the walls left over from the portraits and the photos that I've placed over the years, and then now I just have to patch everything up, give it a fresh coat of paint, and then it'll be ready for our tenants. DIY home improvement projects are one of those things that make my heart so happy. But after having 2 kids, I just don't have that time anymore. I had a cabinet here that I obviously painted around. So now I need to patch up these holes and then give this a fresh coat of green paint. I went around the house and made a list of all the projects to do's. You really don't have that kind of time anymore. So you have to ask yourself, what can you DIY versus leave to the pros? Some of these holes are rather large, so I actually have to do the patching in phases. I'm gonna let it dry and then I'm gonna put another coat right over it. Also, one thing to note is that the new tenants have cats. I've never experienced cats. I've only rescued dogs. So I know that one of the first things that I'm going to swap out are textured woven shades, or kind of like anything like drapery panels, my upholstered pieces. I'm gonna swap that out for simple roller shades, which is what I had before. So originally the home had like 2 cabinets right here as a wardrobe, and it really swallowed up the entire bathroom. So I knocked it out, and over time I had installed these like very basic IKEA cabinets. You can kind of see it, and then I painted it the same color as the walls. But now that the new tenants are moving in, every bedroom needs to have a closet in order to call it a bedroom. So I'm going to outfit it with like 2 double rods, one on top, one on bottom, to create more of like a wardrobe closet system. Patchwork I could do, painting I could do. I actually find it very therapeutic. You move along the walls piece by piece. Some people listen to music. I navigate these DIY projects in complete silence. I feel like I always summon my best creative ideas when I'm embarking on a DIY home improvement project. I was able to complete all the patchwork and letting it dry along with a fresh coat of paint in just under 30 minutes. So this project wasn't a huge commitment at all, and now we're moving on to the next room. We've been moved into the new house for a little bit over a month now, but I left all of my indoor house plants at the old house. Only because at the new house, I haven't painted any of the walls. Plant parents will totally understand this. When your plants are happy and thriving, you don't want to move them. You don't want to disrupt them. It's kind of like my kids. I wanted the smoothest transition as possible. My appliances still haven't been installed, so I'm back at the old house every other day to do laundry. Also finishing up the pack out of our garage as well. We kind of had like large paintings that needed to go last. My plants are going last. I still have like a lot of plants out in the garden, and we're gonna come back for the girls' playhouse this weekend when we get a larger van. This is why I always buy extra paint. You know, this is the exact same color. It's Farrow and Ball's Lichen, but my old paint, which has been here for about maybe 2 years, has now darkened. And even if I go and get the exact same paint, if I don't color match it, it will never look the same. So always, always, always buy more than you think you need. This was such a small paint project. I actually had them color match just a paint sample pot that cost $6 for me to patch all of this up. My common areas are a very beautiful pure white. It's Dunn Edwards DEW 380. It's one of my favorite bright whites. I specify it for a lot of my client projects when the space calls for something very modern with a little bit of warmth to it. We are now moving on to the DIY closet install. I'm really not doing anything fancy, just 2 double rods, both in metal, because I want something very secure, super sturdy, won't discolor or warp or fade over time like wood tends to. My husband enlisted an entire crew to come and swap out all of the electrical. I mean, a lot of the lighting that I have in the home is either vintage or it coordinated with a set that I specified perfectly for. So we had the painters or the electricians come and swap out all of the lighting, change and patch some of the electrical outlets behind the television. But you see, like they tried to paint themselves and the paint doesn't match. So I had to run and go buy more paint that matches our existing paint so that this all looks the same. My nephew is the one who's going to be renting this home from us, and I really wanted to give him, you know, a very fresh and modern experience. He loves this entire look with the Empire chandelier, so I'm leaving that for him. But I wanted to give him a fresh coat of paint. This is Oregano Spice by Bear. It's a really warm olive tone. And there's a lot of green going on in this house, but the boys came in and they just loved it. It's a very mid-century vibe, and they're doing a lot of warm woods in here. So I was really happy to get this fresh coat of paint on for him, but it's only been 1 coat. So the painters had to come back and slap on a second coat. This is a shower enclosure that my husband and I never ever use. You probably think of me as like it's brand new. No one's ever seen it because I used to have a closet system here, but we came in and we're like, you know what, we have to change out the vents because it's just so old. And if you don't do that, what's going to happen over time is that the mold and the mildew collects and you're going to get these issues in the walls or the ceilings later on. So this is definitely something that I feel is like a very high priority. I gave him a fresh coat of paint in here as well. We changed out this fan to be a more quiet one before. Oh my gosh, it literally rattled the entire house. But we're keeping the slate here. It's like a really beautiful navy color. I'm keeping this mid-century desk here. This is a vintage piece. I've had it for as long as I've had the house, but I actually bought it on Craigslist. It's such a beautiful piece of like solid wood, so pretty. And I told him, you know what, I'll gift this to you under the condition that you don't sell it. I mean, if you don't want it anymore, I'll come and I'll get it back. But it's such a beautiful piece that I feel like works with so many different styles. We swapped out all of the lighting. I'm getting that switched out as well. They put on my old roller shades, which is awesome because it's like a complete blackout. I had this when the girls were newborns because I desperately needed blackout just so that we could get some shut-eye, and I love it. I can't believe this, you guys. I never even asked my husband to patch this up, and then he went ahead. Oh my gosh, I can't even breathe right now. He went ahead and told the painters to patch this when 2 things. Number 1, the tenants actually wanted that cable. They didn't need this at all. There's also a dresser here that was gonna hide everything. And now this custom color that was painted and glazed in this beautiful room years ago, I have to try to match today, which is like virtually almost impossible. Oh my gosh, I can't even. So I have some old paint here. I'm gonna try to glaze it and match this myself. And let's see how I do, guys. Mind you, this is exactly how I spent my birthday. I had all of these plans to go to the spa, celebrate with my girls, have dinner, and this is what I did. Sometimes it's just all about the pivot. I am just not the type of person who can leave things until tomorrow. I mean, I wish I were, but it's just one of those projects that would have been in the back of my mind, and I wouldn't have been able to think about anything else, let alone a birthday celebration. There have been so many hiccups, both in my home renovation and preparing this house for tenants. And through every DIY project, I have been telling myself, this too shall pass. this too shall pass. It's become a daily mantra, really. Okay, now that we're moving back into the girls' room, I did the best I could, okay? I know it's never gonna be perfect. I have one more glaze coat after this. I needed to see how it dries. But that's also renovation. You're not going to get it right the first time. I mean, if you do, I absolutely applaud you, but that's not something that I'm capable of, like on the first drop. So this is what life is looking like through construction these days. I'm vacillating between two different job sites, both this rental and my home. And back at my home, it's just as chaotic. Painters are gonna be here for one more session this weekend, and I'm actually going to come back for a complete home tour. I wanna show you everything that I've done to this house in the last 11 years that I've been here. You know, you have to remember that interior design is just not a race to the finish. You're not going to get this completely spectacular home like right from the start. And that's something that you really need to be mindful of. On social media, we only see people's highlights reels, okay? And I'm really committed to showing you something a little bit more raw, a little bit more gritty, and a little bit more behind the scenes. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.